Okay, so what we're going to do now is set up the register component. So if we can just set, type in NAFCE if you've got my boilerplate thing installed, my snippet thing, and then type in input. So we get an input, and then let's call it, let's do the email first. We're going to make this a little bit more complicated as we go along, but I think for now we just do email and password. So we need use state. There's use state. So if we do email, and then set email, and then here we need an empty string. We need to import this use state. So if you press Control and spacebar, it gives you options like this. Then just bring it in. And then email, and then let's do password. So if you do Control, if you press the Alt button, it lets you highlight two at once. Makes it a little bit easier. And then change that. And then here we want to put the value and etc. So that's value email, yeah. And then we want on change, yep. We want that. And then that one will be set email. Actually, before set email, it's gonna have the event, yep. And then that. Oops. And then that. If you don't do this, then what you get is it will basically, if you just put email with brackets, it will execute when you do it. So you need to do an anonymous function. This is called an anonymous function. So this function is basically setting this off, basically, rather than it's being just set off. So anyway, so in here, what we're doing, we're targeting this event objects. So every browser has it, and we're getting the target value from this event. So you can, we might try and console log that event, just so you can see what it looks like in a minute. Let's see. It's just like a big object that you get, and in there there's a target value basically. So let's do submit. Sorry, button. And then this is just type in register, I think. Register, and then this is submit. Yeah. I think we need this value thing here. So that should be fine. And then this one is the same. Let's just copy this down and then just change it. Just delete that. And then put that as password. Set password. Just get rid of this bit, I think. Hopefully that's done it. Right, and then we need to put submit handler. So on submit handler. Right, then here, if you type in CF, then you get some boilerplate code to do a function. Then let's type in submit handler. If I can spell it. Then event. Then let's try and console log the event actually. If you press Control again, Control and spacebar, get that. Let's try and console log this event so you can see what it looks like. Oh, you have to type in this e.prevent default, because otherwise it refreshes the page. That's the default behavior of the browser. It refreshes the page once you do the event. Don't know why it does that, but anyway, that's the default behavior. It's just something that's built into the browser. So let's go back to localhost, and then register. Let's hope this works. Okay, inspect. If we press, it should give you the event. Yeah, so this is the event, and what we're doing target value basically. But anyway, so from that event, that's what we're extracting here, and then we're passing it into this set password, and then this. So this is the way that this use state works. So this state is set to the string here, and then so this password object value, sorry, this variable has, at the moment, it has the string, and then once you pass in something to the set password, it updates this password. So we're passing the event target value. So the event target value is the value that we put in here. I mean, we haven't done any validation of this, so it will just pass to that. Hold on, what's happening here? Oh, we're still setting the event. So now if we console log these two from here, these two, it should actually work. Yeah, they're here. So we've got these. Now what we're going to try and do is send these to the backend. So in order to do that, we need to install Axios. You can use the fetch API, which comes with built into Next, and I'm just used to using Axios, so I do, because a lot of the people that I kind of followed beforehand, they will use Axios, and I mean they both do the same job, so I just prefer using Axios. It looks a bit nicer, I think, when you use Axios than fetch. So you need to go import Axios from Axios. Import statement. So that's Axios, and it's a default import, so we need to get rid of that. Just put Axios, and then if you do C data, it will give you an object that you can use to send to the back end. So C data. And then here we need to do post, because we're posting something to the backend or to the API route. We don't really have a backend, but anyway, if you press tab, then it will put it in the right place there. API. This is a boilerplate that I set up, and then API, and then what we're going to go to API. We don't have any other folders in there, but let's just do API register for now. So we're targeting that root register. Let's spell register. Okay, we'll do that for now, and then here we're going to pass in the email and password. Email and password, and then right, I think if I put cc config, so we need to pass in this config as well. So if you type in cc, you get this boilerplate, and just remove the other thing and then put that like that, and now that should be okay to send to register. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to create the backend register route. So if you go in here and just type in register.js, and then we have to write a function. So it's export default, and then async, 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 and then it's brackets, and then it's res, and then I think that's it, end. and then, oh, I don't know why there's no arrow. There needs to be an arrow here. That's it. And then clog, and then it's rec.method. So we want to hit this API route. Before we hit that API route, we need to connect to the database. So we'll do a new folder and call it connectdb, db.js. And then if you come into that folder, we can call it, if you do mdb, so MongoDB, you should get some boilerplate for if you're following, if you've got my my JavaScript code, what's it called? If you've got my snippets, sorry, installed, and then what you want to do is go in here and just change this to Mongo URI. Yeah, that one. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to change it my snippet as well, because it's mainly called this in most people's files and on the docs, so just easier, I think. I just used to call it DB quite a lot because it's shorter, but I think actually if we change it to that, it will make it more flexible and use it more often, and we don't have to change it. So what we're going to do, we need to install this Mongoose, and this is always basically how you connect to MongoDB using Next. I always use the same boilerplate code to do it. So it's just setting up a connection here. So if you followed Node before, it was very similar, but here you need to connect. For Next, you just need to connect, check whether you're already connected or not. And these are Mongoose methods, and you have to set it up like this, otherwise it gives errors. And I think it actually will give errors because I think some of these have become out of date. You don't need to specify them anymore, because before, if you didn't, it would warn you in the console. But I think that might have changed, so we can just remove those, and we can remove them from the snippet creator as well at the back. I might do that. Let me just check, because I think I've used it recently, and then those errors used to come. Oh, we need to import it here. Oh, actually, maybe there's nothing wrong with it anymore. Or if there is, we can always edit it. Import. What are we importing? We're importing connectdb. Connectdb. And then we need to import it from here. So I'll put it in the root because it's easier to find it then. And then we want to just connect to the DB, connect DB, and then call it. Okay, and then we should now actually get the rec method here if we post it to here. Let's just check. Why is it still doing that find thing? Just delete that. I think that's it. I think it should work. Let's try it. Where was we? Yeah. See if it end up in the console. Okay, post. Okay, yeah. So we've got it here. So this is given the rec method. So from this we can then check if the incoming request is, and then if it is, then we can then do something. If rec method dot method triple equals post, then what we can do is we can destructure the email and password. I don't think we need the username, do we? The name, so we're not getting the name at the moment, but we might get that in the future. And then this console log, just to make sure we got those. I'm sure that we will have them. Let's try it again. So yeah, here they are. So we're getting these that we just got them from the front end. The reason that we're getting this error is that we're not sending a response, basically. and we don't need to send a response at the moment because we're not doing anything yet. So it's just warning you that we're not sending in response. So what we're going to do now is set up the what's it called, the models for MongoDB. So if you come in here and type create a model, and then the model is gonna be called Mongo user model, I think. No, user model. Yeah, user model .js. And I think I've got a boilerplate Mongo user, is it? No, I don't. Maybe it's just user. No. Okay, I don't have any. I might not have any boilerplate. I'm pretty sure I do actually. Let me just go into my JavaScript and see if I can find it. Yeah, here it is, user model. What's it? U model. Okay, it's called U model then. U model. So what we're doing here in this user model is we're importing Mongoose from Mongoose, and then we after that we're using the Mongoose object to create a schema. I think I'm just going to change this to name. We're not going to actually use name at the moment, and it's not required, so we'll take the required out. The email will be required and the password will be required. Yep. So we'll just set it up like this, and we'll in the future probably add a name. Okay, now this is not the way that to set it up on Mongoose, because in Mongoose you have to check whether the in Next.js you need to check whether this is you've actually got the model already loaded or not, because Mongoose keeps on restarting the server. So what I might do is I forget how to check, so I might just go on the internet and just remember how to check. I think I've already got one here. Let me just check user models, user model. It's gonna be this bit here, I think. Okay, this should work. Let's just copy and paste that. Okay, I think this bit should actually work, because I think at one point it didn't work, so that's why I've put this bit in here, and there was another way of doing it, but this actually should work, I think. Models user, yeah. Let me just restart the server, because otherwise, whenever you change the model or anything, you have to always restart the server, otherwise it doesn't take it into consideration. So what we're going to do now is set up file save as, save all, is to now save this in a database. So before we do that, we need to hash the password, so whatever password we get, because we can't save something in, actually let's save it to the database first, and then we can always delete it from the database, and then set it up in a better way using bcrypt. So to do this, we need to say const new user equals await new user so we don't actually have this user object imported yet, but let's do that. Next, email and password, I think. Email and password. Oops, what happened there? That probably didn't like that. Okay. Right, now, and then we have to put .save here. and then right, now we've done that, we need to import the model. Import from model, oops, model, and then user model, and here we can just change that to user. Now we've got this user. Okay, this might actually work, so let's just try it. We're not sending any response yet, but let's try that first. So register. So these errors are coming because we're not sending any response. Use create index. So yeah, these are the things that I was saying. They're not supported anymore, so we can just remove those. So use create index, delete, and use find and modify, delete. Okay, should right now saying that email is not defined. Indeed, is it not defined? Rec.body. It is defined here, so let me just check. Okay, hopefully this should work again. Okay, I think now it's worked. Okay. Right, let's try it one more time, see what happens. Cannot, okay. Let's restart this. I think the model might be, there might be something wrong with this user model. Let's set it up the way it was before, because that did work. Let's just put it onto a new line, and turn up. Right, this should work. Control Z. Right, let's do that. I think it's this line here that's causing the problem, actually. Let me just delete all these lines. Right, that should, oops, why did I delete that? Right, now it should work, I think. Right, I think I've got it working. Just hopefully that nothing's turned up in the database. Email was not defined. Email was not defined. Very strange. Is it because, do we have it set up in the model? I said no. Maybe it does have to be of the type of email. Let's just right. Let's try that. Interesting. Email is not defined. Try this. Oh, I know why. This is not. This is on the outside of here. That's why. So this is how to debug actually. Now it should work. Right. Thank God. Clog user. Right. It should hopefully work. If it don't work, it don't work. But okay, it looks like it is there now. Okay, so maybe this is not the fault. maybe this is not where it's deployed then. Let's have a look. Let me just have a look in here. Next-Auth Mongo. Okay, we called it something else, that's why. Right, let's have a look. We called it Next-Auth Mongo. So where is Next-Auth Mongo? Here. Right, so it's here. So that's where it was all this time. I was looking in the wrong place. But that's it. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to set it up with bcrypt. We're going to check if the user's already in the database or not, and things like that. So it's already actually giving a response saying that it's duplicate key here, and that's because we've written unique here. So this is basically a model, and what this model is saying how we want our objects that we're storing in, or variables that we're storing in MongoDB, how we want them to be. So we want the name to be a string, we want the email to be a string, we want it there. If it's not there, we would need to throw an error saying it's not there. If we want it to be unique, so we don't want duplicate email addresses. We don't want the people registering more than once, because if they're registered, then they're registered. That's it really. And then the password obviously is the same as why we want this up there. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to delete this and put this into our what's it called, snippet thing. Keep on forgetting the word. Here, so we might have to set this up again. No, actually, it's here. I think. I was thinking I might have to go into the snippet generator and regenerate the snippet. I might just do that actually. Let's see. Might be easier than redoing this from here. Yeah, I'm just going to go into the snippet generator and redo it. So if we type in snippet generator, right, and then what do we call it here? We call it the tab trigger is M model, is it? User model, actually, user model. I might just call it M model. Mongoose model. Because yeah, I think I tend to call things with Mongoose in it with an M in the front. And we'll call it Mongoose model. And then we'll copy this snippet and we'll paste it here. We need a comma here, I think. Yep, that should work. Right, so right, everything's working now. So in the next video, we'll just set it up with bcrypt, etc. Right, so we can install the bcrypt JS module. So npm install bcrypt. I think it's called. There's no Y. Bcrypt. npm. Okay. Install that. So, and we can import it here. Import bcrypt from bcrypt.js. There it is. Okay, so, and then what we need to do is hash the password. So here, if we go here, and then so we go const hashed password equals, don't know what it's done that for, did I have to put a space? Right, hash password equals await bcrypt dot hash, and then we need to pass in the password, and then let's set it to 12, and then we need to pass in the so here we want to type in, we want to bring in the hashed password, not the normal password. And then I think that's it. So and then if we get a successful user, instead of console logging it, let's do res.status, so we get a response, so we don't get that error. res.status 200, and that's some boilerplate from my snippets, and the message is going to be sign up success. Sign up success, so we don't get that error anymore. And then we can wrap all this in like a try catch block as well. Just to make it a bit more error friendly, so try catch. So let's try this. Don't know what happened there. I think we're missing something. And then if there's an error, we can just console log that. Okay, and that's it. And then we're going to do the same thing for the login list. Just make sure that this is working correctly. Oh, what we need to do is we need to check for that the user doesn't already exist actually as well. Once we get the email of the user, we need to go const user equals await user dot find one, and then we're going to find out the email, and if there is a user, then we're going to do a response. So if there is a user, we want to say res.status 422 user exists, already exists. Let's put already exists. Okay, and that should be okay. So we do have the user already, but let's make sure that we get that error. Let's go in here and do it again. And let's go in the front and console log the data so we can see that we're getting a response. So where was we? Register the submit handler here. Let's go here and then see log the data, and then that can be the response that we see in our console, our front end console. Let's just refresh this to get rid of some of these errors. So let's try this. Register. Okay, sign up success. It's gone to sign up success. It should have given the error to say that we have a user already. Oh, it's because it's not the right email. Okay, let's try this again, and then it should give an error. Yeah. So let's have a look at where the console error is. Is it here? Duplicate key. Okay, this is this error is coming from Mongo. So we should have seen this error beforehand, not if user res.status email already exists. We are getting the status code, so maybe it has worked. Let me just check again. Let's try it again. No, this is a different one. Okay, we're getting the error. We're getting an error anyway, so it's fine. And it's 422. Right. So, and you can see here you get a Mongoose error as well, because it's not unique. What we need to do is go into the back and then change the get rid of these. So let's get rid of that, and let's get rid of that, and let's get rid of that. So I'm just going to sign up a real user now. And then let's change this to password for now. So we got the successful, so hopefully we should get a hashed password. So this password is hashed. So what it means is that it's saving it in a kind of method where it's difficult to find out what the user obviously put in as a password. So storing it in a way that it's difficult to find out. Well, it's not impossible. I think there are ways to do it, but yeah, you know, your password is not going to be available to people, basically. So what's next? Right. So next, I think we're going to do the login bit, and also we need to validate the email. So I might just do that. We'll probably do that in the front end as well. Don't know whether to do it now or later on. Let's just do it now. I think let's do it in the here. So we're going to install this package called Validator. So let's find it. I think it's called Validator npm. There it is, Validator npm. Is email. So we need this validator. So we need to first of all import. Is the install bit here? Yeah, here npm install. So run this first. Just try this one. Okay. Validate. Okay, this is what we want. Pardon me. Import validator. Don't even know how to spell validator. Validator from validator. Okay, that should now work. Right, let's reinstall. Okay, and then so now if we don't put in a valid email, we should get an error. Let's have a look. Let's go into the, I mean, like I said, it's good to do this on both ends, but let's just do it here first. Where the hell is my localhost gone? Oh, here it is. Right, get an error? No, didn't get an error there, but we did get one here, so the validation failed. Perfect. Right. What's next? Let me just check whether this is okay. Don't know, I think I might need to restart my server. Yeah. So that's why you would want to validate before you get there, so that it doesn't throw an error like that and destroy your server, basically. So we'll do it in the front end as well, but that's perfect, I think. Now let's try it with a real email address. Just do password. Hopefully that should have worked. Didn't do the validation correctly. Oh, it's not correct, that's why. Right. Oh, that worked as well, so hold on. Okay, so the API does work actually. It doesn't, you don't need to restart it. Okay, so and there's the user in the MongoDB. Right, so next what we're going to do is we're going to log in. So to log in, we're going to use something very similar to this. So let's copy this. Login dot JS. Then we need to just copy this. So obviously, so if you save another user in the database using credentials, you can still log in. But if you use Google, if you use one of the social media logins, then it doesn't let you log in for some reason. I have no idea why. But yeah, that's the one of the issues basically. Let's do the same thing. So we need to create. So here we want to say let's do the front end first. I think it's a little bit easier. Well, I find it a little bit easier anyway. I might just use this component. No, let's not use this component. Yeah. Well, let's reuse this component. I was going to say I might just have it in the same place, but that might get a little bit confusing. So if we paste, where's paste, and then rename this to login. Login, and then so we need all that stuff. This time we're going to go to login. And I think that's it. We don't really need anything else, do we? Okay, we need to change this to, let's say, login. If you just hold the Alt button when you're highlighting, then you can highlight two things at once. It's a good tip. Right, so I think that should be fine. So we should be hitting this route now, the login route. So what I might do, just comment out all of this. Didn't like that for some reason. I know why. We need that as well. And then just go in here and then go clog rec.method. And I'm just making sure that we're actually getting something in here. So let's try that. Let's go to the login page and do that. And doing it this way means that you don't get any errors later on when you find out that nothing's being sent from the front end. What happened to post? So we've got the rec method here, so that's fine. And then let's try console login these two. What happened there? Oh, we haven't destructured them this way. Right, now it should work. So yeah, we've got the stuff that we're sending through from the front end. Right, now let's comment this out. Let's comment this out. And then let's uncomment this. Let's just delete these actually. They're getting in the way. If there is not a user, then we want to say user doesn't exist. Because we want the user to be in the database this time. Exist, okay. And then what we want to do is do match. So we want to check out if they match. So let's go here and then write do match. Do match. Okay, and then so we want to change this to say compare. Compare. And then what we'll do is we want to compare the password to the user password. So here we've got back the user, hopefully if they existed. And then we want to do user password. Okay. So if they don't match, we need to give some kind of error. So if not do match, we need to say res.status 400 and then dot message no incorrect credentials. Incorrect credentials. Okay, and then if else, let's do else. So we need to import JWT tokens and make a token basically. Next. Okay, and then here I need to put in process.env.jwt secret. Now we don't actually have this. We do have a secret though, and I'm just going to change that name to match this one, because this is convention. So you see this a lot. Then we can have an optional thing saying expires in expires in 7 days. 7D. Okay. Right. So that's done. We're just gonna copy this. And then put that in here. Right, and then we're going to install JSON Web Tokens. npm install JSON Web Tokens. Okay, then we need to import that. Save, and then go here. Is it there? Was it here? Hold on, what page are we in? Oh, this is the right page. I thought it was in the wrong page. Okay. Oh, sorry, we don't need all this stuff here. So let's get rid of that, otherwise we're going to get some errors. And then, if we do get a user, we need to go, oops, what happened there? It doesn't like, I think we deleted a bit too much. Right. But we do need to do the res.status, otherwise we won't have a response. Status 201, and then we need to say login success, I guess, and then send the user and the token. Success. Send the user and the tokens. I think we've got a bit too much stuff here. Let's just get rid of that. Right, that should be fun. Okay. Right, so we now should be logged in. Let's see. Did we import JSON Web Tokens? No. Import JWT from JSON Web Token. Right. Hopefully that should have worked. Now let's see if we get something in the front end if we try and log in. So we've got Sam. Right. we get any errors or anything? What's this? Token is not defined. Okay. The token is defined here. Oh, I think this should be here. Maybe we'll take it out the else block. Let's just check. Okay, yep, we've got everything. Login success, we've got the token, and then we've got this user, etc. So now we need to basically store this in, what's that word called? A cookie. Yeah, so this is a bit more complicated than if you was to use, obviously, Next-Auth, but it's the only way that I found out to do it. If you know how to do it using Next-Auth, or you found a way of doing it, just put your comments in below, and I'll be very intrigued to learn how to do that actually. I think it's a better way of probably doing it. But for now, I mean, this works. So if you want to use user credentials and you want to sign in with Google and other social media users, this is one solution to doing that, and that's what I want for my project going forward. So yeah, so at the moment we've done that bit. So next we're gonna basically set them into cookies and etc. See in the next bit. Okay, so what we're going to do now is in the front end we're going to basically set the cookies. I don't know, have we installed cookie.js now? I don't think so. So we need to install package now. We might as well install both of these packages together. So one is called JS cookie. So npm install JS cookie, and the other one is called nookies. Which is a next version of cookies. Sounds a bit dodgy, but there you go. So, and then we can do import cookie, Wookie, making up new words now. JS cookie, right, and then we can do cookie.set here. So let's go cookie.set, yep, and then we want to pass in the token, and we're going to call it data.token, and then we're going to pass in the user, and we're going to call that data.user. Right, hopefully that should all work. And then don't know if we should, no, we did a message in the other bit. Okay, right, so let's do npm run dev. And then let's have a look at this login. Okay, so we've got that there. So now let's go and check the application and just check the cookies there. So it's not there. Let's try again. Okay, didn't work. Let's try restarting it and then see if that does it. Okay, that now worked. So we've got a user object and we've got a cookie. No, there it is, a token. Right, so I didn't refresh the page, so that's why it didn't work. And then we can go into the header component, which we haven't created yet. Let's create a header. What's it? Components folder first, components, and then let's create a header.js. Header.js, and then in that header.js we need to Just do it NAFCE first, and call it a header. Yep. So, and then let's import that header. Where can we import that header? Pages, and then normally I create a layout component, but I don't think we got to that stage yet. So let's just do it anyway. Layout.js. Then the same again, NAFCE. And then here we want to destructure the children and then return the children component, and then okay, so we want to put the children here, and then we want to import the header. Import header from .header, and then we're going to put the header here. Oops, I think we changed these to a fragment, and then it's header. Right, okay, let's have a look at that. Hopefully there should be a header appearing now. Oh, there isn't, because we need to wrap the there's no secret. Oh, in the back, and I don't know why that is, because we changed the secret to JWT secret. Okay, so that should work now. Well, I think I need to no, I don't need to restart the server. Now let's wrap this layout component in the app. So we need to import it first. Import layout from components, then layout, and then we can wrap this in a layout. Okay, right, now it should show up hopefully. Yep, perfect. Hold on, I think there's a new version of Material UI actually. UI. So we install the new version. Let's see, Material UI core installation. Here it is. I think it's this one. Yeah. Otherwise, it's going to complain about the dependencies. These other React dependencies. That should be fine. Right. And then once we've done that, we can just copy this boilerplate for the app component. I'm just going to copy it down here and then move the other stuff inside it. So this stuff I need inside Control X, Control V. That should be okay, and then the rest of it I can just get rid of, I think. Delete. Alright, that should be fine. And then we need this document.js file here. So let's just this might actually throw a little bit of an error because this is the older version of Material UI, I think. Yeah, it is. What I might have to do is install it with the new version. Let me just do this underscore document file first. Document. .js. Okay, and then I think if you just do MUI, I think it actually works. UI, see, that might work. Need to go here and do it. Just get rid of this bit. If it doesn't work, we can just install these anyway, so it's not a big deal. How does it look? How does it look again? Styled usage. I think it's at material, sorry. Let me, there's no core, I think it's just material to I think that is it, sorry. Right, yeah, so same thing here. Just put that there. Then theme, we don't have that theme file yet, but we can just copy this theme file here. And we can just change these, they're like global themes. So let's go into here and then call the folder themes.js. Paste it in here. We can just change these to how we want it, but I think there's no src, so we just need to get rid of that. Then it should work. Nope. I think it needs to go up twice this way. Nope, it doesn't. Oh, I think it's themes. I've called it ever. Oh, okay. Let's just call it themes anyway. Right. Right. Where is that? That's in themes. Okay. So themes. They've got some new files that need updating. So we just need to remove this. Control X and put it in here. Should work, and then the same thing, stop there, Control C, Control V, okay. Oh no, there's a core, that core bit is not gonna like. Okay, the same thing in the document folder, let's just paste it here. Where is it? Is it that one? Yeah, that one. And then it's not going to like this theme thing again. I think it's called themes. Let's call it theme. Let's call it the same thing it was before. Let's change the name and call it a theme. Right, and then in here we need to change it to, okay, it's already been changed. There's no src, where is it? It's not called this anymore, I forgot what it's called now. I think it's just called MUI theme. It's just called theme provider, is it? Yeah. Oops. I think that's correct. Right. And then this is remove this. Okay, so it's now it should be fine to use Material UI. What I might do, save all this boilerplate into my Control Y. I'll just leave it for now. It's still working, so theme provider. Where's that theme provider? I've just given myself an error for some reason. Okay, doesn't like that theme provider thing. just go into here and find out what it is actually called now. Create theme. Okay, it's called create theme. So I might just save this boilerplate into my JS code. In my snippet generator thing. I might do it later. I don't think I can bother to do it now. Right, so let's go into Material UI. And the reason I like using Material UI is that it's kind of like it just like gives you loads of components for free, and it looks like JavaScript, and it's made to look like JavaScript. So you're kind of just doing everything in one language. You still need to use a little bit of CSS here and there just to give it extra styling normally, but it's I think is it called navbar toolbar? I can't remember. Yeah, these are the ones. So yeah, I think yeah, it just looks a bit nicer, I think. I like this one, and it's just a little bit easier to use. I think it kind of condenses your code because everything is just made to look like Material UI. Sorry, it's made to look like JavaScript. So yeah, so this is the one I think I'll use. I think I've actually have this one. I mean, even this one has got loads of different things, but at least this one is a bit. Right, let's just copy this into here. Replace this code. Okay, so what now? Let's see if there's any errors first. There is an error, so I need to install icons. This I need to install. npm install npm on dev. It's not constructor. See. See how this is set up on my current document. Style sheets document. I think I know why that is. Let me just copy and paste this into Google. Let's see. Where are we importing that from? Here it is. We're importing from the wrong place this way. So that should then work. I think we need to install this Material UI styles. Yeah, I mean, there is a little bit of boilerplate to set up with Material UI styles, with Material UI, but once you've done it, it's quite easy to use. You can just use it. It's because it's from Next.js. I mean, when it was in React, there wasn't that much boilerplate as there is now. Let's see, what's this session provider? Session is not defined. Jeez, oh, okay, did it do this? I think. that should work now, I think. Yep, it does work. Right, where am I now? So let's go to localhost, see what I get. Okay, perfect. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to put in a component in the layout component here, and it's called a container, and then that will just make it a little bit nicer in terms of how it feels the page. So instead of going all the way across, it will look more like an A4 sheet of paper, I guess. Yeah, okay, so I didn't like that one for some reason. Why is that one? Is that one not in the layout? Don't know why that is. It's a bit strange. What is this? This is not wrapped by the layout for some reason. Very strange. Let me just check weird going on. Oh yeah, I have got something weird going on. Need to get rid of that, I think. Right, now it should be fine. That was a weird. I think I copied and pasted. So what we're going to do now is bring in the user object. So import from the cookies. So we need to do import pass cookies. From cookies, okay, that should do that. And then to get the cookies, we need to go const cookies, and then that equals pass cookies. Then we console log the cookies. The cookies, okay. There's a few things that I need to just change. So in the back end here, we need to just send, because we're sending the whole user object, but we don't need to send the whole user object. So what we can do is from the user object, because there's a password in there, so we can destructure what we need. What do we need? We need a email and ID. I think that's all we need. Underscore ID, and then we get that from the user object. Okay, so we can destructure that, and then we can just send this object here rather than the whole thing. Okay, why is it giving an error there? I think this should be in its own object, is it? Nope, it's not that. I know why. There should be a bracket here, that's why. Right, that should be fine. And then, what else do I need to change? So in here, I just want to put that in JSON stringify because it turns it into an object if you don't do this. Okay, and then when we get into here, we need to pass it. Where is the header here? So we need to go const user equals cookies dot user. Just put that as a question mark to protect ourselves. Then we need to pass this. So if there is, then we need to cookies user, but we need to JSON string pass JSON. If I can spell it, pass cookies user, and or it's an empty string. Hopefully that should work, and then we can console log the user. Okay, right, let's see that. Okay, right, let's go in here, have a look at all this. Right, now let's log out by destroying these cookies. Delete, and then, right, So we've got them in there, that should be working, then that should be working as well. Okay, so everything's working. So now we can display this user. Let's just go in here and display it somewhere. Let's go here and put it. So we want to do this. We want to say if there's a user, and then we can display the user. I think. Don't think we need to do that. I think that should be okay. Right, let's see if that works. Does that work? Nope, didn't like that. User.email, I think. You can't display an object. Okay, so has it done it? Yep, good. Get rid of that. I don't think we need that icon there. And then we might put our own icon in there in a minute. Let's click. Let's do a login button and a register button and hook them up. So if you press Control Alt, Shift and Alt, and then press down, then it gives you a new button like this. And if you press Control X at the end of a line, it gets rid of the whole line. A few tips there for you. And then okay, and that will work. Right, so end link. So if you do end link, that's the next link, and then you can import that link and then wrap these in a link, and then it would work. So just wrap these in link, and then href. Don't need all that. Oops, just /login. And then end that, and then we just need to put that in there. And the same for the other one. Let's just copy this. Okay. And then just wrap that here. That's it. Should work there. Okay. For some reason it's not liking something. Toolbar. I think I deleted something there. Yeah, I did. Now it should work. This should be register. Okay. That should work. Right, now everything should be fine. Oh, I think this is how do I restart this? Just close this and then I'll reopen a different version. Oh, that's it. Let's just go there, do localhost 3000. Okay. Right, yes, we're back. Right, that's perfect. Right, that took longer than it should have, really. Okay, so, but you can see how to kind of debug, etc. So that's good. Right, so in here, this header component, we can also get the session for next session. We can use uSession, and because we got this uSession hook thing here. So let's just I'll show you in the API, in the app. So this session is provided everywhere, so we can just take it from anywhere really. And in the login page as well, we want to get the session here and feed it in through get server-side profs. We'll do that as well, and then that stops you when you're refreshing the page from it disappearing. It's not disappearing now, which is good. But for the for this one it might. So Anyway, this I'll show you what I mean. So we got, let's get the use session hook. I don't know where it comes from actually. So use session, there it is. Where does that come from? Yeah, that's it. React. So we need to put that in there, and then this is like that, and then equals, and then in here we need to go in here and then go data, and then from data we need to take the session. I think that is correct. Why has it got some weird yellow color? C-log session. Oops. See that. Let's see if we get trying to get the session through the Google session basically. So we're using credentials at the moment, but didn't we at some point do a login through Google? I think we did already establish that. Yeah, we have. So we need to log out first, and then in the login page we need to put that login stuff in here. So let's go and get that and put it in here, because it makes sense to log in from everywhere the same. And what we need to do, we need to block it out. If we're already logged in, we need to make sure that we don't log in. I mean, it won't work anyway, I think, because I've tried it and it won't store two cookies, authentication cookies at the same time. I've already tried it; it doesn't actually work. So, but we still need to try and stop the user from making errors anyway. It just makes sense. So let's just copy it. Let's move all this. Move it to here. Close that, I think. Right, what do we need? Is this the right place? I think it is. Yeah. So, and then we need this stuff here, I think. Here, I think all of that we need. And then, okay. So this part we can actually put in here. This part we can actually put in here, isn't it? And then we can just get rid of this, I think. No, hold on. Oh, hold on. We need to put it here, because we need to either sign in with credentials. Control Z. So yeah, we need to either sign in with credentials or sign in with Google. So it needs to go here. Okay, don't like that. I think I don't need that div basically. Right, yeah, that should be fine. So yeah, so it should be there. So we need to either sign in with credentials or sign in with Google. And then when we sign out, we need to either sign out or do a login handler. I know what to do here. So we need to go here, and then we need to do a logout handler. Log out handler. Okay. Control Z, 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 Z. Okay. Logout handler, and then we need to go here. Where should we do there? Logout handler. Let's go just below this one. So if you type in CF, you get some boilerplate. So it's log out handler. Then in here we need to go put that in there, but we only want to do that if there's a session, because otherwise we might get an error. I don't know. I don't think we will, but anyway, we can do that. We can do if session, yeah, then do that. I think just take that bit out. I think if session sign out, or if not, then we want to do cookie.remove. Cookie.remove. Yep. Remove. And then pass in the token. And then we want to do the same to the user. Okay, right now this should all work. Doesn't look like we've got the use session hook anyway, so I might need to hook that up. I thought I did put it in there. In the right document. I think I am. Let's just go. I thought I did use this use session hook already. I think we've got it. Let's make sure I didn't put it in here. No, I didn't. No, I don't know what I did. I'm confused. Right. It's hopefully I didn't put it somewhere else that didn't. You shouldn't be. Right. Let's have a look at that. And then. Okay. Perfect. Let's refresh this. See if we get any errors. Okay. We need to just fix that, but it's not too bad. Right. Here, right, where's the logout handler then? So the logout handler, not signed in, is showing not signed in. That's because sign in session.user.email. So there is a session, that means, because we're not going into this bit. That's interesting. Right, okay. Okay, sorry, it was here, isn't it? That so it doesn't have any sessions here. It's got null 20 session. Okay. Oh, no, because we're not logged in as Google, so it won't have a session, which is fine. Which is what we expect. But we do have to have a way of logging out. So. What we need to do is we need to go, if there is a user, so if there's a Google user we need to do something, and if there's another user then we have to do something else with the cookie user, not, the credentials user, I would say. Right, this, and then if we logged in we need to do something else actually. Right, this is going to be probably a complicated, I think it's going to be two-stage. Let's first of all do it one stage anyway. So if we logged in, we need to show a logged out. If there's a user, we can show a logged out button. So let's just paste these buttons, and then what we'll do, we can paste the rest of the buttons like that. Okay, and then press Control S. Okay, it doesn't like something. I know what it doesn't like. It likes to wrap these things here. Yeah, like that in a fragment. So let's take that and then put that here, I think. Okay, and then it's going to do the same thing there. Okay. And then, yeah, we can just Control X that. Put that here. Okay, right, and then let's do a logout button. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Right, hopefully that should be okay. Let's see, we've got a logout button. Perfect. Right, and then the logout handler can go in here. Let's go get the logout handler. There it is. Let's Control X and then put that here in the header. The reason we're putting it in the header because the header component goes everywhere, so it makes sense to put it in here. And then in here, we need to do that on click thing. Click. And then that. Okay. Right. Now it should log us out. Cookie.remove. Cookies not defined. So what we need to do, we need to import cookie from JS cookie. Import cookie from JS cookie. Right, now it should work, I think. Log out. Yep. I think this is just I think that error will go away if we just restart the server. I've had that before. I think that's... Yeah, I've had that before. Right, so, right, let's try the credentials now. So we're going to try and log in as credentials. And then we'll try and log in the other way as well and see if they both work. Okay, let's refresh the page. Yeah, so now we get the user. We need to do maybe an update user just to put that in there. But for now, we'll leave it like that. Then let's log out. Log out. I'm sure that I'm logged out. Yep, I'm logged out. Sign in. Logout handler is not defined. So what did I call it here? Logout handler. I think it's in here that it's not defined. It's in here somewhere. Oh, it's here. So what was here before? I think it was an empty function with sign out. I don't think we actually need that here. It's just let's just put an empty button for now. I don't think we need to sign out from here because we've got it up at the top. Let's go in here and have a look. Okay, so we're signed in. Right, now if we're signed in, what we need to do is we need to also display the user. So let's try that in the header. So we've got user.email, so we need to do the same thing. So what we can do is go else, no, is session. So if there's a session.user, then session.user, yeah, then return the session.user, else return an empty string. So this should work. And then session.user. Just put a question mark. Pretty sure that there is a session.user, so let's have a look at that. Not signed in, sign in. Cannot access session before initialization. Cannot access session before initialization. So, okay, that should be up there then. That's why. It's just Control X, put that here. Just take a look at that. Perfect. Now we don't need that sign up button because we can just use this one. Sign out is not defined. Okay, it's not defined apparently. Let me just bring in this as well. I might need it because I'm pretty sure that I've got the login button somewhere. No, actually, I won't need it here, do I? So Control S, that should be fine. Right, now if we log out, it should be okay. Perfect. Right, so we've done a few things here. Sign in, then log out. Perfect. And so I think we need to use some kind of use effect to make this work. Yeah, because the state is there, so how do we do this? Let's see if use effect works. Let's do a use effect and then use effect. See if we can put that in there and see if that works. Right, let's see if this works. If it does, then work, then it don't work. But use effect is not defined. Okay, that's fine. I'll define it. User is not defined. Let's just put this on the outside then. User is not defined. Right, let's move this on the outside, and I think it does work. Right. Okay, right now it's working. Yeah. Right, let's log out and log back in and see if it works. Might not work. think you have to update the state for it to work. You need to use a, yeah, no, it doesn't work. Right. So what we want to do is we want to do user state and set up user state and then pass in the user, and then that might actually work. If not, I will to research something and then find out, because there is a way of doing it. User state, let's call it user state, if I can spell. Let's set user state, and let's go in here. Pass in the user. And then I think we can use this user state actually. We might just use let's try that. That might be better. User state is not defined. Okay. Use state. Okay. Did we not import use state? I don't think we did. Now it should work. Okay, log out. That's fine. Yeah, the logout works straight away, so that's good. Right, so in order to update the state, what we can do, we can do, so once we log in, we can actually route away from here. Dot push. Then we want to go to the home page. So if we do that, then we can go next router. We can import the next router, and then if we go C router here, C router, okay, and that's fine, and that should work. And then in here, what we want to do, we just want to put the router in here, and then when the router updates, so should the state. Right, so let's try that. Seb@dog.com, and then password. It's there, login. So yeah, so now we have the user, we can log out. This session user doesn't always exist, so it's resetting the state to kind of be an empty object. So what we need to do is go session. So if there's a session, we want to say set user state, and then we need to do session.user, and then do that, and then hopefully that should work. And then we need to go in here, this bit here, and then we need to the login page, and then type in this code. So we need to get a session. It's quite straightforward. So what this is doing, this is getting the session. So this is a Next-Auth hook, and it goes to the back end and gets the session if it exists before the page renders. So then it's not returning an empty object, basically, if there's a session there. So that then it's going to prevent this being reset to an empty object and not showing up the user up here. So anyway, that's how I figured out how to make it work. What I'm going to do is change this to login. It should say login. I don't know why it's saying register. I think we just copied across the component and we forgot to change it, but I think it's a good idea to change it because actually we need it to say login. I'm surprised it never gave an error. It doesn't really like it when you've got two named the same. Let's see what happened there. So, right, let's test this out now. So Seb@dog. Right, password. Okay, so that works, and then log in, and then we need to sign in as the other user, and then that works as well. So that's fine. So this is working now. It's perfect. So what we can do is use this to protect routes, to maybe do, we're going to improve this. We're going to put some toast in there to give us some warnings, etc. Say it's login successful, things like that. We can probably extend it using Redux. But anyway, I'll see you. We're going to extend this project, and hopefully you can come on that journey with me. Write some comments in the below if you want to see anything. Um, so yeah, look forward to it.